Hello, folks. Welcome to Scratch the Surface. I'm EJ Scott. Today, my guest is Blake Garris. He works for Marvel. And before I talk about him, let me just give a quick plug to myself. You can follow me on Twitter at EJ Scott and at EJ Podcast. I have a website, ejscott.com. I'm on Instagram, ejscott1106. And I'm raising money for charity. You can go to crowdrise.com/7on7. That's the number 7 on the number 7. Lots of great charities up there. Please donate what you can. Trying to raise a lot of money for some great causes. And is that it? I think that might be it. If it's not it, I'll let you know. Oh, you know what? There's one more thing. I ran 12 marathons in 12 states in 2012, which sounds crazy, but I did it blindfolded, which is crazier. Now, why did I do all that? Well, I am losing my eyesight to an eye disease called choroideremia, and it runs in my family. It's genetic and degenerative, and I'm always trying to raise money for an awareness for the cause. And I ran all those marathons and raised a lot of money. And luckily, a very talented man I know was kind enough to put together a documentary about it called Running Blind. And you can find it on iTunes. You can rent it or buy it for like $2 or $3. It's also on Google Play and Amazon. Only digital copies are available, but it's well worth your time if you go check it out. Okay, so Blake Garris. He is a manager of video and content production at Marvel. And he's a good man. He also does podcasting himself. He's on This Week in Marvel. He's one of the hosts of This Week in Marvel, which is a podcast you can find on iTunes. And he interviews celebrities and other people, and it's a really good one. And so he was kind enough to hang out and talk with me about comics and movies. He's also a celeb stalker. Sorry, Blake. But he's met tons of celebrities, and he tells me some stories about the celebrities he's met. He also calls out the biggest asshole celebrity he's ever met. I won't spoil it, but he has a show on HBO. That's all I'll say. So it was good talking with Blake. He's a good man, and we talk about other stuff too. We talk about being raised by liberal parents, but in a conservative state, and moving around and dating and all sorts of stuff. So we had a good time. I hope you'll enjoy it. My talk with Blake Garris.
So how do you usually start things?
It's already started.
Well, okay, on camera I appreciate, or on audio I must say.
Yeah.
Thanks for the invite. I'm probably the least famous person you've had as a guest ever.
I bet that's not true. I bet that's not true. Maybe bottom 10.
But it's the nicest thing you've ever said to me. No, I was listening to I'm a fan of the show, you know that.
Thank you.
And I re-listened to the John Glazer one, which from not too long ago.
Yeah, it was like a year ago.
Yeah.
Man, that was a good one.
Like, I've interviewed John probably 3 or 4 times, and you made him cry at least twice, I think, during
In like the first 5 minutes.
You have a gift, sir.
I didn't think I had a gift. I just asked him about his kid, it's a good one. If you haven't listened to it, go back and listen to it. John Glazer. He's a really great guy, hugely talented. I was thrilled to meet him and to have him on here. And his kid's adopted, and she clearly means the world to him, because as soon as he started talking about her, he started getting very emotional.
Right.
I was like, I'm sorry, man. Did I do something? I'm sorry.
Every time I've interviewed him, it's always been, he just goes on his crazy, funny train, and you're the one that gets the real dirt out of him.
That's right.
So I respect that.
Now I'm gonna make you cry.
All right, we'll
Ready?
see. Here we go. No, I love it. I mean, so you said you're a big Howard Stern fan, so that's how you take a lot of your interview skills from him.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of them. I mean, even like guys like James Lipton.
Yeah, nice.
Like just real slow, just talking about stuff and careers and specifics and details, and I like that stuff. You know? But now you're turning it around on me.
Yeah, I know.
See, this is what happens when I
Yeah.
interview other interviewers. It becomes about me.
Dang it. You caught me.
Gotcha. Before you got here, I was listening to your David Tennant podcast.
Oh, he's the best.
Interview.
Yeah.
What a nice guy.
Yeah.
What a nice guy.
He's the best.
I want to get him on here. I attacked him at the Jessica Jones premiere, and I was like, "Would you do my podcast?" And he was like, "Sure, talk to this person." It's his publicist. So I'll have to get him on sometime.
Yeah, he's a great guy. We talk every couple months.
Wow. On the phone or something?
No, I just email or
Oh,
whatever.
okay.
But yeah, he's awesome.
He's great.
Yeah.
Well, all right. So you're from, where are you from exactly?
South Carolina.
Born and raised?
Yeah.
What part?
Small town outside of the state capital in Columbia, in between Charlotte and Columbia. So
Okay. What's the name of it?
Great Falls.
I like it.
It's like 1,000, 1,200 people or something.
How many murders have been there?
I think there's a lot of like heroin.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Is it big? Yeah, right. Those Carolinas, there's a lot of drug stuff going on.
Yeah, especially like I think in North Carolina there's a lot of meth as well.
That's the good stuff.
That's the good stuff. Yeah.
Make shows out of it.
Oh, they do. You're right.
Yeah, Breaking Bad.
It's a nice small town.
Yeah.
Nothing going on really.
And you were through high school? You stayed there?
I went to high school in I went to elementary and high school in a semi-bigger city.
Like commuting or?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like a 30-minute drive.
Okay.
And then, yeah, it's a bigger town. It's more to do.
Yeah.
Like concert venues and like, you know.
Was it tough growing up in such a small place with such few people?
Sometimes. I mean,
you get bored?
Not really. I mean, I was really, as are you, a big movie buff.
Mm-hmm.
So I would probably just watch HBO and, you know, the movie channels like all day long.
Yeah. Trying to stay away from the meth.
Stay away from that. I don't think meth was that prominent yet.
Not yet.
But
the beginnings of meth.
Yeah, we didn't have MTV.
Well, back then, I mean, in all these weird small places, you have high drugs, and because there's nothing to do, so you just go get drunk and high, and you shoot guns and stuff.
Did you ever see you know Jesco White, the Dancing Outlaw?
What?
You need to watch. It's a documentary. It's a PBS documentary called The Dancing Outlaw, and it's this. His dad
Sounds
was
like a comic book.
It could be. But his dad was like a famous Southern like tap dancer or whatever,
Okay.
and he started tap dancing, and then everyone's on meth or something out there. Like I think they made a Showtime series called The Wild and Wonderful Whites or something, based on the family, but it started with him, and so like they basically were like, we're bored, so we do drugs.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you ever watch that show Intervention?
Oh, I used to. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
The first season.
Yeah.
Superb.
All those seasons are really great, but like so many of those people that are just like in small towns have nothing better to do but get high. Mm-hmm. There's just nothing going on. Mm-hmm. So how can I get high? I'll huff paint. Keyboard cleaner.
Yes, that was crazy.
That was crazy.
There was one episode where I think the guy was addicted to video games.
Oh,
and then I think that was season 1, and then gambling, obviously, and then keyboard cleaner, which was great.
How'd you avoid all that stuff? Did you see it around you, all that drugs and?
Not really.
Not really.
I mean, I think I've had friends from college who do even like the minor stuff, but they never really. I was never around it, so
that's good.
Just kind of, yeah.
What did your parents do?
My mom was a nurse. And my dad was a college professor. He was in the Army Reserves, and he was a judge. So.
Okay. Was he tough?
Not really. I mean, a little bit, but not really.
Did you feel judged?
Who doesn't?
By your dad, especially, though. My dad was a cop.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So 33 years or whatever, he was a cop. So, like, he always treated me like I was a suspect of something. It was always like, where you been? Oh, really? Go, you have cooperation on?
That was all the time.
It felt like that. It felt like that. He was very nosy and asking lots of questions, very suspicious, and he was fun. He was a fun guy.
That's amazing.
Hang out with. But what about your dad? Did he do any of that stuff? Were you guys close?
Sort of. I mean, we're all only children, so we all kind of do our own thing.
Who's all only children?
Both my parents.
Okay, they're only children.
And both my mom's parents are only children.
And you're an only child.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's I haven't met anyone that small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have like pretty limited family, I guess.
Yeah.
Small family.
Yeah, but I think actually I hung out with my closest cousin lives here, and we went to a concert the other night, and I think we're like the closest cousins we are. They're like my grandfather's cousin is his grandmother or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I got that.
Yeah, I still don't really get it. It's crazy.
Are your parents still around?
Yeah.
Okay, they still married?
Yeah.
That's good.
They're,
How long have they been married for?
Oh gosh.
40?
No, I don't. No, it seemed terrible. Maybe close to that. Yeah.
Close to 40?
Yeah.
They in their 50s or 60s?
Yeah, my dad was born in 1950 and my mom 1955.
50, 50.
So-
Okay, so they're in their 60s.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. So they had you kind of late.
Ish.
How old are you?
33.
33. Okay, maybe not that late.
Yeah.
Around their 30s, I guess. How'd they meet? Do you know?
The story I heard was, I mean, they're actually both from the small town that I'm from as well, and I think my mom's parents owned I think it was like a convenience store or something, and my dad would go to the convenience store as a little kid, and like he had these blue tap dancing shoes or whatever, and he would like tap dance at the convenience store.
Really? That's funny.
Yeah. And then
Just for money or just for fun?
just for fun, I think.
Huh.
Yeah. And so they kind of knew each other a little bit throughout.
So your dad was a performer?
No.
Of sorts?
No, I mean
A wannabe?
I don't know. I mean, sometimes I
Dreamer?
think he might have been, because I think he's a really good like photographer, but he doesn't know it. It's one of those like, you know how you can like frame a shot. Mm-hmm. Some people just know how to frame a shot without even looking at it. So I'd look at old family photos, and it's just like the shots are kind of abstract but cool. So I always thought he could be like a good photographer, but he never really
did anything.
did. Yeah, he went the like political route, sort of.
What did they want you to do?
I think they wanted me to be a lawyer.
Yeah.
I went to law school for a little bit, but I was like, nah, it wasn't.
Where'd you go?
It was in South Carolina. This like, I think they call it a fourth tier law school. So there's like a first tier, which is all the big schools, and then there's no second tier, and then there's a third and a fourth. So it's not.
What happened to the second tier?
Good question. I never
Is that
asked. Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
the fourth tier, is that not so good? It's not a great school?
It's not. You know, there's better ones.
Sounds
I
like
think.
it's a copy of a copy of a copy. It gets a little diluted every time.
Yeah, I wasn't the best student in college, and my LSAT scores weren't the best either. So.
Okay. How were you as a high schooler? Growing up, were you a troublemaker or you just watched TV all the time?
A lot of TV. Not really too much trouble. I think I went to concerts a lot. I wanted to be a musician.
Yeah. Did you play instruments?
I still play guitar a little bit, but yeah, the rock star world was where I was gunning for, but
That's fun.
Didn't happen.
So were you a shy kid?
Here and there, yeah.
Did you date?
Not in high school.
No.
I
Didn't either.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't.
See, we have so much in common, EJ.
So much.
Man.
Yeah, I did have my first date till after high school, like maybe the summer after high school.
I think I went out with the girl for like a week in like 8th grade, and that was about.
Better than I did.
Well,
You're a Casanova compared
Casanova.
to me.
I wouldn't go that far, but
I always had crushes on girls. Did you always have crushes? I
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how big your school was, but I always had crushes on girls, and I would sometimes foolishly. I watched too much TV and movies, so I would leave like anonymous love letters.
that's amazing.
And I was so embarrassed. It was so embarrassing. Even just talking about it now is super embarrassing.
Do you think that watching all that TV and film had something to do with it, though? Like the romanticism?
Yeah,
over-
I think so. Because
yeah.
I didn't know what real life was because I just watch TV and movies all the time. So, I'm like, oh, girls like romance. Maybe this is romantic and not creepy, not like slightly stalkerish.
I never thought of it like that. You're so true. That's crazy.
Like, you can't do that now. It's like, who the fuck is this? Gonna call the police?
That's amazing.
Yeah, you can't do that these days.
Yeah.
Do that. So, did you ever? When was have you ever been in love?
Think maybe.
Yeah.
A couple. There have been some girls that have, come and rocked things up,
What does that mean?
Shaking things up.
In your world?
Yeah.
Or, okay.
Yeah.
Just like, what is that? Can you be more specific? Emotionally?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
In my past life. Now I'm just this cold,
bitter,
miserable, bitter man.
Robot.
Yeah.
Are you dating now?
Here and there, yeah.
Here and there. What are you looking for? What do you need? We'll try to help something out.
I like that. No, I don't know. I mean, it's just like, I like, as you know, because we always talk about it when we hang out, like, films and, music and...
So you want similar interests?
Theoretically, yeah. I mean, I veer towards an indie kind of realm of entertainment, and I kind of watch a lot of that. So, a lot of people can't stomach some of that stuff.
Okay.
Like, you know what I mean?
Like not mainstream stuff? Is that what you mean?
Theoretically. It sounds really douchey to say it, but it's like,
Yeah, it does sound douchey.
Yeah.
No
wonder
you're
hear a lot
single.
of that.
No wonder you're single.
You're going to hear a lot of that.
Would you ask girls out or
yeah.
Yeah?
Sometimes.
Do you do the online stuff?
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, that's the way to do it, though, right? Because if you're gonna get rejected, do it.
Oh, of course, yeah.
You don't want to go up to somebody in a bar or something, try to strike up a conversation, and maybe ask them out, and then they go, "No, thank you."
Yeah.
And you go, "Okay." And it's like, oh, that's painful.
It's like you waste
painful.
20 minutes talking to somebody and realize they have a boyfriend or something,
right?
And they didn't want to be bothered in the first place.
Yes. So now you're an asshole.
Yeah.
This guy's ruined my night.
Just wanted to go out for drinks with my friend.
Jesus. Do it online.
Exactly.
When was that? Have you been in a long-term relationship? I mean, these girls that rocked your world, they were long-term stuff?
A couple, yeah.
In South Carolina?
Yeah.
Did you have to leave them behind to come to New York?
No, I had nobody.
You had nobody. You had no ties when you left.
It's a family, but yeah.
Yeah. That's no big deal, though.
Yeah.
What, in New York, did you have any of those relationships in New York?
A couple short ones, but nothing really big, yeah.
Are you lonely? You okay?
I got you.
Sometimes.
Every once in a while.
Every once in a while.
You're the big jet setter, so.
That's true.
Traveling the coasts.
Do you wish you had somebody, like, more permanent? Are you looking for that, or are you just looking, you like being single?
I don't know, both, kind of. I'm still,
Because you meet a lot of celebrities.
Yeah.
Ever ask out any of them?
No.
Christina Ricci, you didn't ask her out or anything?
I think she's married.
You do meet a lot of celebrities, though. You put up on your Facebook
it's terrible. Yeah.
Lots and lots of celebrity pics with you.
It started with, I was going through old photos, and I found a picture of my mom holding me as a baby next to Ernest.
Oh, Ernest goes to camp and that guy? Okay.
And so I was like, this is the best picture ever.
What's his real name?
Jim Varney.
Jim Varney, okay,
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think he went to Juilliard.
Clearly.
Because if you've seen, Ernest Goes to Jail is a tour de force of acting. I always see...
he was snubbed by the Academy.
Yes, thank you for saying that. No, I always listen to the How Did This Get Made podcast or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'll cross paths with Jason Mantzoukas every once in a while. I'll be like, dude, you guys did Ernest Goes to Jail, and that's a great movie. And he thinks I'm joking. I'm like, no, seriously? That's a great movie.
Yeah.
Take it back.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I scanned that photo and put it up on Facebook, and all these people freaked out, and then I think that kind of created the monster that it's become.
Did you find that as like an addiction or anything like that? Like
Yeah, a little.
You need to get pictures and stuff like that?
Kind of. I mean, it's like, it's sort of it can be a hobby too, I guess. Yeah. It's kind of, but I mean, on the flip side, I know it's crazy.
Right.
But,
I do it too. I do it too.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I think for me, it's helped me to like, I go to a lot of events and it keeps me in touch with like, going to movies with Q&As after and, like talks and all this stuff. And I think it really, concerts and everything. So like, I stay pretty active there.
Yeah.
So who's been the best you've met? Because you got some good ones that I've never met.
Oh, Michael J. Fox.
Yeah.
He's my favorite.
Bob Newhart, though.
That was cool.
Mm-hmm.
That was cool. And that was very brief, though. It was like, I went to see Don Rickles.
Right.
In Los Angeles. It was his 90th. Last year he turned 90.
Mm-hmm.
So him and Regis Philbin did a few, like, shows, kind of. Mostly Regis interviewed Don.
Mm-hmm.
And there was Q&A from the audience. And then they would show, like, clips of Don's career and stuff like that. So at one point, Don says, "I just want to say that my best friend, the person I love the most, is in the audience today, Bob Newhart."
That's amazing.
And he's like, Bob stands up, and he's not close to me. And I'm like, oh, shit, Bob Newhart. And I thought that was really cool. And I was like, well, once the show ends, I'll see if I can get a picture with him. And once the show ended, other people were getting pictures with. So he was in the same spot.
Mm-hmm.
So I was able to kind of get over there and just get a picture. He was real nice about it.
That's great.
He was real nice about it. And I know his nephew. Did
you know you knew him before? Or
yes, and I forgot to mention it to Bob. But his nephew is Paul Britton from Saturday Night Live. Yeah. And I interviewed Paul a couple weeks ago. It's not available yet. By the time this comes out, it's available. So go listen to my Paul Britton podcast because we talk about that a little bit.
That's great.
But I was like, oh yeah, Paul. It's funny, like people's nephews and like George Wendt. His nephew is Jason Sudeikis. Jordan Klepper on Daily Show.
Yeah.
His uncle is Tim Allen.
That's crazy. Jason Patrick is the grandson of Jackie Gleason.
Oh, yeah, I heard that.
Yeah.
I think I heard that. That's funny.
Yeah.
And like Matt Besser, Matt Besser?
Yeah.
His uncle was, I think Larry Fine, one of the Three Stooges.
What?
Was it Larry Fine or Joe?
Either one, though. That's amazing.
One of those. One of the Three Stooges. Yeah, isn't that crazy?
That's amazing.
I'm not related to anybody famous.
Well, sort of.
Yeah, well, my girlfriend?
Yeah. Theoretically.
That's not blood. That's not blood.
No, it's cool. I mean, like you get these like cool stories with some of the, actors that you've loved for years.
Yeah.
Like one of my favorites was I went to a convention and Ernest Borgnine was there.
Oh, wow.
And,
he seems like a nice guy.
I think it might have been his first convention ever. So he's just walking around having a good time by himself. And no one's bothering him because there are all these young kids there. And I was like, hey, I had to talk to your person. And his publicist was just like, go up to him and, he'll be fine with it. So we go, I'm like, Mr. Borgnine, I'm supposed to interview you, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, let's do it now. And we just walked in some random room at the convention and did the interview. Really nice. And then after I stopped recording, I told him, have you seen Marty?
Oh, I haven't seen it, but I know he won the Oscar for it.
He won the Oscar and it won the Palme d'Or at Cannes or whatever, I think. So that's I think that might be the only film that's done that. Won both.
Huh.
But after the interview, I stopped recording and I was like, hey, I just want to tell you, I just saw Marty and it really blew me away. And he's like, story about Marty is I was walking down I was like, with my friend Spencer and I was like, hey, I got to audition for this part. And he goes, you don't have to audition for a part. You're Ernest Borgnine. And then after that, I beat him out for the Oscar that year. And I was like, you mean your friend Spencer was Spencer Tracy? And he's like, oh yeah, Spencer Tracy. Like it was no big deal.
Wow.
It was just and it like blew me away. It's like little stories like that really just were crazy.
Do you have more of those? Did you ever have trouble asking somebody for a picture and they're like, nah, I don't want to? Does that happen a lot?
Not in the interview capacity, but I mean, yeah, there are people who don't do it. It's fine.
Anybody yell at you?
No.
It's all right.
Yeah, I've seen it done. I've seen people be pushy with other people, but it's all about kindness and.
You have a southern accent. It sounds nicer.
I've been told so. Yeah, I was gonna ask because I was listening to your
southern gentleman.
I was listening to your podcast lately, and you have such a great soothing voice you're the perfect interviewer.
Thank you.
I don't like listening to myself because I sound like a moron.
Think
and
so?
When I edit the podcast I do,
yourself out.
It drives me crazy listening to it.
Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. So you're not going to listen to this back, you think?
I'll think about it.
All right.
So you don't have any problem? I've heard a lot of people can't listen to themselves talk.
I can, but I don't love it. I was even just telling my girlfriend the other night. I was like, I don't like my voice.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like my voice.
That's crazy. That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I probably have the perfect voice, and I can't.
Now
I
you're
can't.
just
I can't
bragging. No, you got it. And like I said, you can pull a lot out of people.
Yeah, I just try to learn about people.
Yeah.
That was the idea.
And I love how I always just know we talk about because we have a mutual improv love. I think I'm the only person I know that loves improv and doesn't do it.
Have you ever thought about it?
I've
taken classes.
People have talk. You even told me I should,
yeah.
And I've had some people I know say it, but I don't know. I just kind of want to keep that as one thing I just enjoy.
Just pure. You love it in its pure form.
Kind of, yeah. I'm also fascinated by the whole Del Close, Mike Nichols, Elaine May kind of
right.
Air quotes relationship or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I wish they would make a movie about that.
Well, they just announced that Mike Myers is going to play Del Close.
Really?
In a movie.
So, this will be him around Ferris Bueller maybe era days?
Maybe. It might even be earlier because I think it's going to start with him developing the Herald and doing the long form stuff.
Oh, wow.
So that could go back to the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
That could go back to the 80s.
That's amazing.
Years.
I had heard that they were thinking about having Bill Murray play him.
Yeah, that was a long. I think Bill's hard to track down.
If anybody would play him, it's Bill because he learned from him.
Yeah, well, Mike did too. Mike Myers did too. But Bill's like an old man now, so he could only play him as the later Del years
when he was really messed up.
Yeah. Which would be interesting. Put a big beard on Bill Murray and stuff like that. Put him in a hospital.
Did you see the video on YouTube of it was Del's funeral, but he was still alive?
Yeah. A lot of my teachers were improv teachers.
Oh yeah, Sharna was there, right?
Sharna and a lot of my teachers were there, and they were they had a funeral for him in his hospital room, and it sounded crazy. And he died a day or two later or something like that, really shortly after. They knew it was coming. They were like, "This is it." And I think Del was okay with it. I guess he made his peace. He was in his 60s.
Yeah,
in his 60s, I think.
He's one of the most fascinating people.
He was fascinating. He was a big drug guy. He was a warlock. He studied witchcraft or something, and he's a maniac. But people adored him. The people that studied with him just worshipped him. Look at the UCB guys. They have a Del Close marathon every year, and they love Del to death. I wish I'd gotten to meet him or got to take him as a teacher. But
did you ever do? You weren't doing it. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, he died in the 90s. I didn't get started till. I didn't get started at IO till early 2000s.
Oh wow.
So
isn't his skull supposed to be floating around somewhere?
There's a rumor he did theater at a Shakespeare theater in Chicago. So the rumor is that he donated his skull to that Shakespeare theater so that they could use it in plays and stuff.
That's amazing.
But it's just a rumor. Who knows what's true? What's not when it comes to Del Close.
It was such a good era though, because it's people weren't trying to be famous from improv. They weren't. Right. They didn't want to be on SNL. They just liked it.
Yeah.
And then now it seems like such a thing where everyone's has an agenda.
Yeah, but what are you gonna do? People people always had their agendas anyway.
Well, yeah, that's fair.
No matter what. But now it's blowing up, and now it's not such a underground thing. Now more people understand it. Some people still don't get what improv is. You if I go to somebody that's never seen it before and we watch improv, and they go, "Did they write that?" No, they didn't write it. How do you know? How do you know they didn't write it? It was pretty good. It's like, no, that's the point. And then I get frustrated.
We got to go. We always talk about it. We got to go to some shows.
Oh, yeah, that'd be fun. UCB's out here.
Yeah.
Magnet and Pit Theater.
Yeah. Have you been to the Beast?
Oh, the UC Beast? Yeah. I did my student shows there. I took UCB classes.
Oh, I did
my UCB shows there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, a nice little theater.
Mm-hmm.
What is that? Chelsea? Not Chelsea area. Is that Chelsea? Yeah, maybe.
No, Chelsea's the regular one.
Oh, Chelsea's
main one.
Never mind.
The others.
That's the East Village. That's the
somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why it's called Beast, because like UCB East.
Exactly.
Yeah. So who do you have lined up for future interviews? Anybody lined up coming up? You're excited about?
Yeah, I mean, always like potentially some Netflix Marvel stars.
Yeah.
Which is always fun. They're great.
I'm gonna have Simone Missick.
Are you going to get her on the show?
Yep.
She's awesome.
She said yes.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart. That show's great.
Yeah.
I just blew through that show.
Yeah, it's a good show.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I owe you a thanks for me getting Simone, because we were at Joe Quesada's party and we walked up to her. You were like, "You should do his podcast."
Well, you're welcome.
Thank you. I wish you could do that for me more.
All right, let me know.
Right.
I'll walk you around New York Comic Con next time, and we'll.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Do the thing.
That'd be awesome.
I mean, you've had most of the defenders.
Well, most
theoretically, Charlie, Mike.
I've had Charlie and Mike.
Yeah.
Kristen said she'd do it, so I'm waiting on. I'm maybe gonna wait till season 2 airs, so then we can talk about season 2 and stuff.
That's cool.
So it might be a while for that one, but and then Finn. I don't know. Once I get those 3, maybe I could just convince them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
have you guys met?
It could be hard to get.
Have you met yet?
Briefly at New York Comic Con. I got a picture with the 4 of them.
Oh, that's great. I saw that. Yeah,
that was cool.
That was awesome.
I'm such a nerd.
I think that was excuse me. I think that was like right after or before their big selfie photo.
It was right after.
Right after.
They were at the. I was. If you look, somebody took a picture of them taking the picture, and I'm to the side going, "What?"
So you were immediately the next photo after that really famous photo.
"Hey guys, is there any chance?" And Charlie's so great. He's like, "Come in here." I was like, "Thank you, Charlie. I love you."
That's amazing.
Yeah. So that's a lot of fun. When did you start reading comics, or did you?
Yeah, I read a ton as a kid.
Yeah.
Around the time of the X-Men cartoon.
Oh, yeah. Well, there were a couple of them. Which one?
The one.
The main one.
Yeah,
on Fox.
the theme song. Yeah, and then the Batman.
Yeah.
That song's great. But it was like that, and then the Batman animated series were the 2 of the best.
Yeah.
And then so comics were like a big deal then. There was the runs of I have every issue of Superman's death, except there's 4 issues that most people don't have, where like Doomsday comes in and like at the last page is like Doomsday's coming, and you see like a crack in this wall, and then the next comic is like Doomsday's coming and the crack's bigger, and then the 4th one says Doomsday's here and the fist is through the wall. No. I haven't seen a collection with those 4. And
so is that rare?
I think so.
Because those Death of Superman comics are
not rare.
Rare.
Yeah, I have I think I have 13 issues of the Death.
Okay.
Because my dad was like, "This is an investment."
Yeah.
And obviously
it wasn't.
Yeah, like all my baseball cards and stuff.
Yeah. That was the time where everything was supposed to be an investment, so everybody bought one.
Yep.
And then that people don't understand what investment means when everybody buys the same comic, it is no longer worth anything.
Yep. And then there was also the like when Batman broke his back.
Oh yeah.
That was a big deal. I reread that comic and it wasn't the best.
Yeah.
But I like the idea of it. Did you read that comic?
Oh, yeah.
So like having Azrael involved and then,
Yeah.
all that, like it could have been a great film if they.
Yeah. I wish, I mean, it's funny, Dark Knight Rises put some of that in there.
Some of it, yeah.
But I wish that stuff led up to a lot of stuff that I like. No Man's Land. I like the No Man's Land with the earthquake and the outbreak and all that stuff, just leading up to this No Man's Land stuff. That would be a great TV show, like an AMC TV show. Like Gotham is sectioned off from the rest of the country, and
That's awesome.
And then just you have all the bad guys in there and Batman and stuff. That would be so good. That would be so good.
I'm into it, especially on AMC.
Are you allowed to talk? You're okay talking about DC stuff? I know Marvel's real protective.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's not on your podcast.
Yeah.
All right, that's cool.
We can talk. I mean, people will talk other companies.
Who do you like better, DC or Marvel? Just kidding.
Of course, Marvel. Of course.
So with your podcast, you're not the only host.
No, we have multiple hosts. There's like a Tuesday show where you interview people, and then there's a Thursday show where the other guys kind of host it, and then there's
talk comics and stuff like
comics,
that.
news, video games, the whole shebaz. Take like fan questions, and we have some of my coworkers out in LA record a segment too, so it's a
wow.
pretty big deal. But it's been great having. I'm happy that the guests we've had just keep getting bigger and bigger, and
and you have like cool. When you take those pictures, you put them up, and people are just coming to tour the offices.
Sometimes, yeah.
You have like the weekend.
Yeah.
Right. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And like Blink-182, you interviewed.
Mm-hmm.
I guess they took a tour too.
Yeah. Well, they didn't have time for a tour. I mean, a lot of it's like there'll be tours, and then there'll be if people have a lot of time, we love to do both. But you know how precious celebrities' time can be, especially on a press tour. So
Sure.
Generally ask for like if they can spare 30 minutes, we can get everything out of the way.
Wow.
Yeah.
What are their reactions? I mean, some of them must be old school and new school fans of comics. They must like when I got to go, I freaked out. I was like, this is so cool.
Yeah, it's fun to see to meet some celebrities who you wouldn't strike them as big comic book fans, but they're like Method Man.
Yeah, I knew he was. I knew
like crazy. Well, I mean, yeah, I knew he enjoyed it, but I didn't know how big of a fan he was.
Yeah, he's pretty rabid reader.
Yeah.
He reads all of it, right?
John Cryer's like a huge Jack Kirby fan.
Oh, interesting.
Like,
Interesting. I didn't know that.
God, who else? It's always there's always a bunch.
Any females that you're like, oh wow, I didn't realize you were a reader. That's pretty rare, I'd say.
No, I mean there's a couple. I think a girl I know from the Carrie Diaries reads.
One of the actors from that.
I have to think. Oh, Ashley Johnson from Blind Spots reads.
That's cool.
I have to think.
Is there anybody you'd like to get on?
Oh man, I don't know.
There's a few in my head I'd like to get on.
Who are yours?
Well, I'd like to get even just like Daredevil people. I'd like to get Scott Glenn on.
Yeah.
Vincent D'Onofrio, John Bernthal. Even just those guys. But I'd love to get Joss Whedon on. I've had a few of his friends on, so I'm like, maybe if I could just get more of his friends. They'll all just talk about me too, or something.
I mean, that's what makes it is. Besides me, your track record is phenomenal. So you just keep saying, "Oh, I've had Charlie Cox, I've had Mike Coulter."
Yeah,
it all just falls like a house of cards.
Well, you had me on,
and it was great. We had a great time.
Fun. And I would say the same thing. It was like you had good guests, and then you had me on.
That's not true. No, we were happy to have you. It was a great conversation. Had you had a tour before, or did you get a tour and the podcast at the same day?
I think so.
Okay. Because you've been by the office a couple times.
A couple times.
Yeah.
I'm welcome by again. Get some
You're
stuff.
always welcome. Yeah.
I want to grab some swag.
Of course.
I'll bring my truck.
Bring your truck. I'm trying to think who would I mean, there's a lot of people I'd love to talk to, but I don't like. Every time I like wish for somebody, it never happens.
Yeah.
So I just kind of.
You all like Downey Jr.
Oh, we've.
Did you get him? Like if we keep it in the Marvel world.
I don't think he's been on the podcast actually.
Chris Evans was.
Evans
though.
has been a couple times.
He seems like a good guy.
Yeah.
I met him at the Age of Ultron premiere.
Oh, nice.
At the after party, and he was really humble. He was like super humble, and I was like, "Hey, love you in the movie." He's like, I'm just Captain America," you know, like real. I was like, "No, what are you talking about?
That's
It's amazing.
Yeah.
You're fucking Captain America." He was real humble about it. It was really cute.
Yeah, we've been lucky. I mean, the cast is all this stuff's really great.
What movies are you looking forward to that's coming out? I just saw a little teaser for Infinity War.
I haven't
Did
even
you
seen
watch that one?
I haven't seen
So
that.
it's mostly behind the scenes stuff, like Kevin Feige talking about it and stuff like that. It's pretty
That's
cool.
Yeah.
I
I saw John Wick 2 last night.
Ooh.
So
And
it was great.
really,
Yeah.
that first one just surprised the shit out of me how good it was.
Oh yeah, me too. I was like, I'm not gonna see this. I'm gonna hate this. And then I watched it, and it was glorious.
Well, everybody was talking about how good it was, and I was like, all right, I'll check it out.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, I feel.
They got me right away because they killed a puppy. And I was like, you fuckers.
Yeah, I have
Fuckers.
my superpower is everywhere I sit in a movie theater, I sit next or close to the most obnoxious person at the theater.
Yep.
So the guy
Me too.
immediately next to me last night, the whole movie was like, yep,
Ugh.
throughout.
Why is he saying these things?
And then he was talking to his, I think, girlfriend a lot, and I just wasn't in the mood to get in an argument, so I just kind of stomached it.
Do you ever speak up for yourself?
Every once in a while.
I do too.
Yeah.
But it just drives me. I can't watch the movie unless I.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, well, I can't watch it. Gotta see it again.
Yeah, I don't forget the experiences when I do speak up, so I kind of try not to. Because I remember I was watching The Departed, and a buddy of mine was like, "Hey, do you hear this old woman talking?" And I was like, "Well, now I do." So I had to tell like a 70-year-old woman, like, "Would you mind not speaking?" And she felt really sad about it. So that sticks with you, you know.
In my day, we could talk in the movie theater.
And
You
then
can't do that anymore, lady.
another time, like I said, these things never shake with me, I guess. But I was watching Her. And,
Okay.
and like the final 10 minutes, the girl next to me pulls out her cell phone.
Ugh.
And I was like, you couldn't wait
Really?
10
10
minutes? And then,
The whole movie's about a cell phone.
yeah, exactly. And then another fun one was I was watching that All Is Lost, the Robert Redford movie. Have you seen it?
Yeah. That one's there's no dialogue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, but it's still,
Right?
yeah. But it was cool to have something that was, silent film is kind of dying.
That's the you shouldn't talk at all during that.
Yeah.
Like that's like Castaway. Like that's the worst
Yeah.
movie to go to in public because people can't shut up.
Right. And then I had a homeless man walked in midway through and sat in the front row and talked. So.
Go get him, Robert.
Yeah, pretty much. So that was
Where's Paul Newman?
yeah. It was a good one though. Besides all that,
You ever get in physical fight, not in the movie theater, but in general, like in your life, you ever get beat up or get in a fight or anything? No.
I've been pretty lucky. Yeah.
That's lucky.
It's yeah.
Good for you.
So far, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
You know.
Maybe today.
Yeah, I walk out in your neighborhood of lovely Brooklyn and be afraid.
Get your ass jumped.
Mm-hmm.
What are you looking for? So I'm looking forward to Ms. Marvel.
Yeah.
Black
Captain
Panther.
the film.
Oh yeah,
Captain
Marvel.
Yeah.
I guess they're not doing Ms. Marvel, but Captain Marvel. I wonder why they're not doing a Ms. Marvel. Is that?
No, it's funny. Yeah, Chadwick Boseman's. He's from. It's funny. Like he and Mike Coulter are both from South Carolina, as well.
I didn't know that.
So it's fun to have that connection.
Yeah.
Like Mike and I went to the same college.
Different years.
Yeah, I always talk. I think he hates me because I'm always like, "Hey, I'm the guy from South Carolina. And like,
Mike
like,
doesn't seem. I don't think Mike's such a nice guy.
No, he's
I'd
awesome.
be surprised if he disliked.
Yeah, I give him a hard time because it's big college football out there.
Yeah.
And he's a Florida State fan.
Okay.
Which
Oh, you're a sports guy.
Not really. I mean, I'm into college football. I used to when I was a kid. When around that comics, when I was really heavily into comics, it was like sports crazy.
Where'd you play?
I didn't really. I mean, I played basketball some, but I just like watched everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And did you watch the Super Bowl the other day?
Yeah.
Who you're rooting for?
The Falcons, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They won.
Yeah.
Falcons? Oh no, they didn't.
They didn't.
Lost. Sorry, Patriots won.
Yeah.
So you were rooting for the Falcons. I was at a little shindig, and everybody was rooting for the Falcons.
I think
Everybody.
The underdogs.
Anti-Patriots, anti-Tom Brady party. I don't care either way. But I was like, all right, well, sure, Falcons then, go Falcons. And then like I left after the Lady Gaga thing because I was like, well, this seems over. And then I got home, and by the time I got home, they won.
Oh wow!
Yeah, close to it.
I always root for it. The thing that ruined the Super Bowl for me was, did you ever see that Radioshack commercial from like 2 or 3 years ago?
Which one? Probably not. But
it was it was basically saying how Radioshack was outdated and no one went anymore, so they brought all these 80s characters back. So like Alf, Mr. T, I think Hulk Hogan, Mary Lou Retton.
Oh wow!
Just all these random.
Yeah. Sounds like a Celebrity Apprentice episode.
Yeah, but exactly the things that I loved growing up. Right. I always root for another commercial like that, but I don't think it'll ever happen.
Well, Nick Cannon now owns a part of Radioshack.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that's why it hasn't died out yet.
They just need to change the name. The two things aren't really.
Yeah. He's trying to do something.
I didn't know that. That's crazy.
He was on Stern the other day. I didn't listen to it yet, but he'll probably talk about it.
Would you ever have Stern on the show?
Of course. Of course. He would never in a million years do it.
How do you know that?
Howard Stern?
Yeah.
Because he doesn't do stuff like this. You can't even get him on like an actual talk show.
My friend interviewed him on a red carpet a couple weeks ago.
Oh, that's that's different. If I could get it, that's like a 30-second thing.
Well, I guess he talks for 3 or 4 hours every morning, and
like 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
3 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
He used to talk 5 hours, 5 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
What red carpet was it?
Oh, I think it was some animal society function or whatever for his
North
wife.
Shore Animal
I think
League. Yeah. He does stuff like that.
I mean, I'm glad podcasts are big because your guys, what did you say, James Lipton and
James Lipton, Stern.
I
love Mark Maron's a great podcaster.
I mean, I loved Dick Cavett because he doesn't do when he was doing his talk show, like he never really did research and he kind of wanted to get to know people and whatnot.
That's interesting.
And I never thought it would come back in another format, which is great. Which podcasts, yeah.
Oh, they're everywhere now.
Mm-hmm.
The last few guests I've had, some of them were like, "I want to do a podcast. Can you show me what you do?" And I was like, "Sure." So maybe to have a podcast.
But that's what's so great about yours is I know so many people who want to start a podcast that don't know how intense it can be if, like, initially setting it all up is the pain in the butt.
Yeah.
Because I know people who they're like, oh, I'm just going to record every once in a while. And it's like, no, you have to have a structure or it's just going to fall apart. And
unless you don't care about
Yeah.
who's listening, or if anybody listens.
Yeah.
You can do kind of whatever you want.
That's pretty great.
I'd like mine to grow and get a bigger audience.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd like mine to become a part of like Howl or something, some sort of where other podcasts live.
How do you do that? I mean, do you like submit a podcast?
Yeah, I wrote to Howl.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, all right, we'll take a listen and we'll get back to you if it's a good fit. And I never heard back.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
I'll try them again after I get some more interviews. I interviewed a couple people that do podcasts on their show, on their channel or app or whatever. So maybe they'll be more inclined to listen again.
What other podcasts are you listening to besides Marin and...
Fat Man on Batman.
Okay.
Kevin Smith, which is funny because it should really. He talks about Marvel most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you listen, but Family on Batman, Nerdist. I used to listen to Corolla a lot, and not so much these days. That's mostly it. And then random ones here or there. Oh, my two friends have a podcast called Craigslist, and Craig makes lists of like his favorite movies. So him and his wife go through every week his top 100 movies, like one movie a week. So starting at 100. So every week they rewatch a movie and they talk about it on their podcast.
Have you been on that show?
No, but I had them on mine. And maybe they'll have me on. They have guests on sometimes. Mm-hmm. But I'd love to be on. That'd be fun.
What movie would you want to do?
Well, I don't know what his top 100 movies are. It's always a surprise each week. But I don't know. I'll watch any movie pretty much. Mm-hmm. I watched Gone with the Wind recently. Did you ever watch that?
Yeah. It's been a while, but...
It's a weird movie.
How so?
Because it's like a pro-South in the Civil War type movie.
Yeah.
The only person that's like sort of against it is Rhett Butler. But even he's like, I don't think it's going to work. Anyway, I'm going to go get some chicks. And that's like that's his whole thing. That's his whole thing. It's beautifully shot and directed. Some of the acting is very over the top because it's like 1940, so of course it's going to be over the top.
Right.
But it's a little weird, and it's fucking long. It's 4 hours. It took me 2 days to watch it.
Oh, so you had to like pause and couldn't get through. Yeah,
I couldn't get through.
It says a lot about a film that it's old and you can still get through it. But there are some. I mean, have you seen City Lights with Charlie Chaplin?
Oh God, I don't think so.
That's a movie. That's a good one.
It's probably not long though, right? It's probably like an hour or something.
Probably like an hour 20 or something.
Hour
maybe
20. That's reasonable.
But I mean, because I taught a college class for a year and a half, and it was kind of media or whatever,
okay.
and I would like give the students a list of like movies they needed to watch. And unfortunately, like Birth of a Nation was on there, which if you've seen that's even worse than Gone with the Wind, but it's still in the top whatever films in history,
right?
Just by aesthetics of that time.
If I watched it, it's been forever since I don't remember watching.
It's the same thing as like I watched what's the Hitler movie?
Donald Trump's autobiography.
No, it was
Donald Trump Alive. The Hitler movie. Which one?
The one.
Charlie Chaplin's movie.
No, the one that Hitler made as propaganda.
Oh.
Why am I blanking on it? I was even afraid.
Producers.
God, why am I blanking on it? But it was like that movie was what was said that made so many people go to his side, and I remember renting it on Netflix years ago because it was in like a movie you needed.
It was on Netflix.
Yeah. Well, this was like the DVD.
Oh, I see.
Exchange times, and so it was boring.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the time, I can see where it, how much art can change a person's perspective.
What's it like?
It basically shows Hitler as this hero. Like, the story I had heard, which I don't know if it's true, but the story I was told initially was the editor and I think director was a woman, and that's rare at the time. And I think they said she was Jewish, and she was really good at making films. And he said he would like save her family if she worked for him, and so he did. But I don't know how true that story is.
I see. Clever Hitler.
What is that movie called? I forget. Whatever.
You've Got Jews.
It's I'll think about it, but it's like things that, like, if you're a big film buff, you gotta see some of the.
Yeah, that's so scary. Did you see the new Birth of a Nation?
No,
I didn't see it either.
I don't think they're not related much, are they?
I have no idea.
Yeah,
I assumed it was a reboot or a remake, I guess, a remake.
Yeah, I don't know.
Reimagined? I don't know.
It's on the list.
Yeah.
It's on the list.
That got a lot of controversy because, like, the guy that wrote and stars in that was went to trial for a rape many years ago.
Was it the director?
He was acquitted, but his friend wasn't or something.
Mm-hmm.
It got a lot of controversy. I don't know the full story, so I don't know.
It's all crazy.
Awkward.
It's all crazy.
Let's just stick with superhero movies. Let's just stick with that stuff.
That's what you want to see, just only superhero movies?
That's it.
Have you seen Moonlight, though?
Oh, yeah. Very good.
Touched my heart.
Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it. Sometimes my friends or some people I know go, it's too much comic book movies and it's too much now. We got to take a break. And I go, nope. More. I may not like all of it. I may not watch all of it, but it's fine.
You're in a really good time now.
Yeah.
So much content to check out.
Do you watch those DC shows?
Sometimes. Yeah.
I'm phasing out of them.
Why?
There's a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just not doing it for me, really.
Mm-hmm.
Not really. But
what about the cartoons?
DC cartoons?
Yeah.
I'm not watching any right now. Like the old ones, I watched a lot of the old ones.
Mm-hmm.
But what's on now? There's a new Justice League cartoon.
Oh, I haven't seen that. I'll keep up with the DC animated films.
Oh, those ones. Oh, yeah. I'll watch those.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever they're on sale on iTunes, I get them and stuff. So I have a lot of those.
Just a big nerd, EJ.
I try. What's your comic book collection like? Do you have a collection?
If I read, really, it's mostly digital stuff.
Yeah, I have switched over.
I hate it. Like, I really do like having the comic, but I think the last comic I bought was that Love Is Love comic.
Oh yeah.
You had Mark on the show. I haven't listened to that episode yet, but
that's a good one.
Yeah. Does he talk about the comic? Yeah. That's such a great thing. And it's cool, like, the community is big, but it's also small, so everyone kind of knows each other.
Yeah.
And it's so cool to see so many people I'm friendly with.
Yeah.
Doing.
Well, the Love Is Love comic is the proceeds from this. It's a bunch of writers and artists making one comic, and the proceeds go to the victims of the Orlando shooting from last summer. Mm-hmm. And Mark kind of was the organizer, not kind of, but was the organizer of that whole thing. And so if you get a chance, go listen to my Mark and Draco from a few episodes ago.
And that had Taron Killam's involved, Patton Oswalt.
I never had Patton. Oh man, I love that Patton.
Jerry Duggan's on. You should talk to Jerry sometime.
I'd love to. I met him. He's a nice guy. I think I may have asked him if he'd do it. I think he said yes, but he's not in New York, right?
No, he's L.A.
He's L.A. So I'll have to get him in L.A. I got Dan Slott is interested.
That's awesome. I love
Charles
Dan.
Soule is going to do it.
Charles is great.
In a few days.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
I got him in a few days. Who else? Klaus Janson.
Oh, cool. I don't think we've met him.
Is interested.
You got to talk to Dan about Doctor Who.
Okay.
That's his love.
Okay, just bring up Doctor Who.
Only talk Doctor Who.
Only talk Doctor Who.
He's like the biggest Doctor Who fan.
Oh my gosh.
Charles, I don't know what he's into.
What? Well, Charles wrote me into a Daredevil.
Oh, that was him?
Yeah.
That's huge, man.
Yeah.
That's I remember seeing that. It was great. Yeah. You were like a cop?
Yep. Officer Scott.
That's so awesome. There's nothing better than that.
That was great. That was pretty awesome.
I hope you framed it or something.
I have multiple copies, and I will definitely probably frame one of them. And unfortunately, I contacted the artist, and he doesn't have like a physical drawing of it. It was digital. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's too bad. I would love the page of that to frame. That'd be even better.
Yeah, most of the guys are doing it on the
old digital.
Yep.
Yeah, I've switched over to digital because I have so many comic books, and I'm still trying to get rid of some. But just the room wise, and I've switched over to digitals for movies now. And so if a movie's coming out, I'll just get it digital.
That was the biggest pain for me to switch over to was the movies.
Yeah.
I'm always loved having my DVD wall.
I still have about 900 movies.
Wow.
But that's after getting rid of hundreds and hundreds of movies.
Is there anything like my personal collection? I collect Chevy Chase memorabilia.
Oh, really?
So like, do you have anything like that?
Like specific like that?
Even like an actor or like anything.
Well, I like Deborah's stuff. So like my girlfriend, I have like a lot of True Blood stuff and Daredevil. You know, I'd like them to do more with Karen Page, so I get more Karen Page stuff. I'm mad at Funko. Come on, Funko. Jerks.
I'll make sure, next time I see him, I'll be like, guys, you gotta get on it.
Come on, guys. She's in the show. She's in every episode.
It's bound to happen.
Makes me so mad. But so mostly that stuff. But I like random. My collection is random. It's filled with random stuff, probably.
Anything rare besides her stuff?
Rare. I have a Stan Lee signed comic. That's pretty rare, right? And I have Bob Kane signed Batman.
That's rare.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
And I had Joe Quesada sign it too because he drew the cover.
That's great. Bob Kane? Wow.
Bob Kane. I bought it on like QVC when I was a teenager. You know, they used to sell comics on QVC. I don't know if they still do, but it was a very dangerous show for me to watch. So I was like, oh, I gotta get that. It's rare. I can't watch stuff like that.
I have in another previous life, I used to be a PA on a bunch of TV shows, and there was one show that a guy who became a friend of mine was a producer, and he said he was a child actor, and he was on ER for a couple episodes, and he was on one of the Batman films, and he said he found out I was really into superheroes, and he said this guy came up to him and said, hey, can I sketch you a cowl? So he sketched the cowl, and he signed it and gave it to him and walked away. And he's like, oh, I'll give it to you. I don't have any use for it. And I was like, well, who signed it? And he's like, his name was like Bob or something. And I was like, was it Bob Kane? And he's like, oh, that was it. And I was like, dude, if we're friends, you keep that or sell it on eBay.
He was in a Batman movie. He doesn't understand.
He was like an extra kid or something.
Okay. So he must have been in the first Batman movie.
He didn't say. I think it was a couple. When did Bob die? After
I don't remember exactly, but his or at least his drawing appears in that first Batman movie where he's like, "Hey, I made a picture of that Batman," and it's like this bat with a suit on or something.
I think
that's
was
Bob Kane's drawing.
It was either the George Clooney or Val Kilmer one, but I don't know if he was dead.
Oh, that's the Joel Schumacher years.
If Bob Kane was still alive, I think it was around that time.
Okay. All right, so he could have just gone on set or something.
Yeah, I think he was just there to check it out.
Okay.
And I was told the guy, I would not be a good friend if I took this from you.
Did you see it?
No. Because he lived in L.A. and
he doesn't have it framed or something?
I don't think so.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I have a signed Civil War poster by Robert Downey Jr.
Oh, that's awesome. You need to get the rest of the cast.
Sure. How do you do that?
Well, you're around all the stars all the time.
No, I'm not. What are you talking about?
You're always all over the place.
No. That's a lie. That's
true.
False news.
False news.
That's fake news. That's false. That's alternative facts. No, that is not true. I can't. Well, like if I go to a premiere or something, I can't just run up to everybody and ask them to sign shit. That's weird.
People do it, though.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel weird about it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess if you had something small and it wasn't like a big poster or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd rather just them come on my podcast. But well, I feel weird because I'm there because of Deborah, and I don't want to be the boyfriend that's going around asking people to sign shit at the premiere or something.
Well, sometimes though, it's like we're all fans of something.
Yeah.
So it's it's good to actually. In all the jaded Hollywood, it's good to be still a fan.
Yeah, I'm still a fan.
Yeah.
I just don't want to, step on her work. Like it's kind of her work.
Yeah, that's true. But it seems like a lot of people lose that sometimes, Yeah. They get, screwed over a couple too many times, and they kind of lose that about them. I don't know.
Yeah. About like signing stuff, you mean?
Not even that. Just being a fan
Or
or
being a
acting
fan.
like a fan of something, you know.
Being excited
Yeah, exactly.
about something. Yeah. What else are you a fan of? What other interests? You like music? You like
Yeah,
comic book movies?
yeah, all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I haven't collected in a while, but I used to have a big Chevy Chase collection.
Oh yeah, the Chevy Chase collection. What do you have in there?
The weirdest thing was I went on eBay and bought the weirder than that was somebody had this to sell, but it was a bunch of newspaper clippings of Chevy Chase.
Okay.
And I bought that.
How much did you pay for it?
Probably like $7 or something.
Okay.
And I didn't search like Chevy Chase newspaper clippings. It was just I would search his name like every 2 weeks.
Okay.
The thing I'm bummed about is I lost the Chevy Chase show hat. Because you ever see that '90s show?
Yep.
Yeah.
You lost you had it?
No, I on a bid.
Okay.
Um,
I met him.
I met him once too briefly. But where'd you meet him?
Deb and I met him and his wife on a carpet at San Diego Comic-Con.
Wow, for Community?
He was there for Community and it was a Entertainment Weekly party.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw him and I asked Deb's publicist, I was like, can I meet Chevy Chase? That's like a big deal.
Yeah.
He was way more interested in meeting Deborah than meeting me. He could give a fuck about meeting me. But he did like a bit with Deborah where she like pretended to bite his neck and everything.
So did he watch True Blood?
His wife did.
Oh, wow.
His wife was a big fan.
And she was with him?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I was like, Chevy, can I get a picture with you? And he was just like looking at me like, fuck off. He could not.
Did he do it though?
No, he did it with like all of us, I think.
Oh.
He didn't do it like a solo with me. But yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, I tried to divorce myself from that side of him.
Yeah.
Because I think that he owned the 80s.
Oh yeah.
Theoretically, like.
Oh yeah. It's huge in the 80s.
Yeah. So I collect like I think I have Funny Farm and Christmas Vacation in like every format that's ever existed. like Laserdisc.
Mm-hmm. That's funny.
I pretty much have all his movies in some capacity, and then there's not a lot of Chevy Chase memorabilia out there, but you'd be surprised at how much there is.
Yeah. That's funny.
A lot of it I just give to my dad now because he's a big Christmas Vacation fan. So
it's a great movie. It's a great movie.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Do you go back to South Carolina for the holidays and stuff?
Yeah.
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 Visit the parents.
Mm-hmm.
Do they like Marvel stuff? Do they care about this stuff?
Yeah, they're really big into movies. My mom's a huge like movie buff, so she kind of got me into it. And yeah, I'll get her. Speaking of signed stuff, she kind of has gotten the bug for signed things now.
Oh, really?
Like, I got her a signed poster of Michael Douglas one time, and she's a big fan of his, obviously. So,
What poster?
An Ant-Man poster.
Ooh,
So she,
that's great.
she's caught the bug.
The Ant-Man bug.
Yeah, so she has. She's asked for Chadwick Boseman, who I got, and she asked for. I got her a Michael Rooker signed thing. You should get him on the podcast. He's
Love
the
to.
best.
I don't, have access.
Yeah, I'll see what I can do.
All right, please.
So yeah, around their house, there's just all these signed comic book posters now. So
That's cool.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool. When you went to school to be a lawyer, did you drop out?
yeah. Well, that was just. I went to undergrad for political science, and then I realized that wasn't really going to happen, and so.
Why?
It's funny because I think I was like in high school. I started writing for a website, and like a music website, just for fun. And the owner like sent me like $100, and I never cashed it in because I was like, you don't get paid for this. I just wanted like the only reason I started writing for the website was to get free CDs. And every once in a while, I'd get some signed by the bands, and I'd be like, this is the best thing ever. And then all throughout, I would write for that, and then like I got a gig at IGN doing some freelance stuff, and they paid, and I was a little older, so I actually cashed those checks in. But
That was still in South Carolina?
yeah, I was like, I mean that they weren't in South Carolina, but
Right.
online you can do it all.
Okay.
And so Yeah, it was fun. I had my dad was kind of connected in the political scene, so he almost at the time I was still thinking about doing politics, and so
You were thinking about doing
I
politics?
mean I think my dad was a campaign manager for a election one time, and they lost, and so he quit. And so I've always been kind of interested in politics and like this more of the science behind what people do,
Right.
because I'm fascinated in like a lot of the Republicans and Democrats on face don't seem they hate each other, but
Right.
a lot of them are hanging out behind the scenes.
Oh, that's
It's
funny.
kind of fascinating to me. But anyways, yeah. So my dad got me he was going to get me a meeting to be like an intern for the governor, and I got a call from his like assistant, and I didn't answer it, and my voicemail was like a ringtone. I made like those soundboard things that used to be big back in the day, like
Kind of.
so I made a soundboard where it was like me talking to R2D2 and Luke Skywalker.
Okay.
And like Blake's not here or whatever, and then he's like R2, it's stupid. And then she said on the voicemail, she's like, "Hey, please get in touch with me, and if you ever want to get anywhere, you're gonna have to not have ringtones like this." And that was when it hit me. I was like, you can't have fun and still be involved in that.
Nope.
So that's where it kind of veered into. I started working at a TV station, and then law school came about. This is a long story, but and then I realized law school wasn't. I was like, I went one semester and then they put me on academic probation because I just didn't get it. Mm-hmm. So I realized like I should just end this before I get asked to leave.
So then when did you move to New York?
I like almost 5 years ago.
Oh, 5 years. So how old are you?
33.
So you were 28. So how many years did you spend after you stopped going to college? 6 years or 8 years?
Yeah, like 8 years.
8 years.
7 or 8. Yeah.
So what'd you do for those 8 years?
That was where I was a producer at a PBS station.
Oh, okay.
And I would freelance on the side for like reality shows, and I was PA on Homeland a couple episodes, and Toddlers and Tiaras, American Idol.
That's amazing. That's a sad show.
It was an interesting time.
Did you see any crazy stuff on these reality shows?
I mean, not really. The thing that was great was I was just and I still am just some dumb kid from the South. So like these people from LA would come out, and I'd be nervous because every time it'd be only a couple of days shooting, and they'd always be so nice, you know. And that you build a bond with these people because you're on a set for at least 12 hours a day,
Yeah.
so they have to trust you, And I had the lowest job, so it's just like, run and get somebody water or a burrito or something. So,
how'd you transition to Marvel?
that had part to do with the writing for those music websites. I was just writing for this one indie site, interviewing. I was writing news articles and also interviewing celebrities, and that was on my side time. And when I was working for the PBS station, so when I was bored or something, I would write articles for the website. So somebody contacted me from Marvel to interview musicians about like who were comic book fans.
Marvel contacted you?
Oh, I contacted the editor of our site.
Oh, I see.
And I think that we had like 8 writers, and I think only myself and another guy responded. And so I had a pretty decent-ish, Rolodex, I guess, of celebrities. So that's where it kind of started. And then like years later, a full-time gig opened up. So
it's nice.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Were you excited?
Yeah, it was. I never thought I'd ever leave South Carolina. I really like where I'm from in South Carolina. I know it has a bad, view to it, but there are some pockets that are really great.
Yeah, you studied politics, and this past year was the craziest year in politics, right? Did you analyze that stuff just out of habit?
A little bit. It was just so out. Obviously, so outside of anything that's ever happened that it'll be interesting to see
Did you have a take on Donald Trump's campaign? Did you like he's doing this or that or whatever? A theory on it or what his motives
Not,
were?
I mean, no, it was just so crazy. Like, I mean, there's some great political documentaries that anybody listening is interested. Like, there was a guy, he's actually from South Carolina, but the documentary is called The Boogeyman, and it's about this guy named Lee Atwater that was rumored to be a Democrat, but the Republicans paid more, so he became this like hatchet guy for George Bush and I think George W. and he was like this big guy in the Republican Party, and it's just fascinating to me that there are people out that like they're out that like that out there, and I don't know if that answered your question, but it's like just made me think about it.
Yeah.
But this, like I said, this was just such a different beast. There's a great series on Showtime called The Circus.
Right, I've seen some.
Yeah,
I've seen some.
that like I don't even know how they got it out in such a
It was
way.
weekly.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
And it was well done. But
Well, in South Carolina is a red state.
yeah.
Is your family red people?
My parents aren't really.
No.
I mean, they both like campaigned for Jimmy Carter.
Oh wow. Okay.
So my dad was actually a page for one of the Democratic governor, Fritz Hollings, for a little bit in BC. So
Okay, that's cool.
yeah.
Yeah, it's it get weird there. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, they must feel like a lonely island.
Yeah,
Because
I mean,
they're probably all their friends and stuff around there.
that's the weirdest part, though. It's like people always ask me, like, what's it like being from a red state or whatever? And I was like,
Right.
I couldn't say. Like, you'll every once in a while come across somebody, but like, I was just in a big bubble of
Yeah.
the opposite of that.
Well, you're lucky because people in my family are more that they voted Trump, and
Oh, wow.
I come from Long Island, and the majority of voters on Long Island voted Trump. And so you're lucky. You're lucky.
It's a fascinating thing.
It's a fascinating thing. It sure is.
Oh.
All right. Well, hey, you want to plug anything?
Oh, God.
Plug your podcast.
Yeah, we do the Marvel podcast every week.
It's called This Week in Marvel.
Yeah, it's a lot of interviews with some fun people, and everybody's got to check out your interview. That was like
Thank you. At least
year or two ago, maybe.
Yeah.
No, maybe a year, because
At least a year.
I remember we kind of started talking at New York Comic Con 2 years ago, so it'd have to be after that.
Yeah. It might have been that same week or something.
Yeah.
So it might be 2 years. Even.
It was a great interview. We went for like an hour and a half or something.
Something like that.
Yeah.
We're doing that here almost. Yeah, we're almost at that here.
Wow. So yeah, there's that, and then yeah, we do some videos on just Marvel's website, and I'm always here and there doing crazy
Yeah,
stuff.
on Instagram or Twitter.
Yeah, just my
any of that
name.
stuff? Your name, Blake Garris.
Yeah, always posting dumb stuff.
Cool. Go see him with celebrities.
That's really all it's become, unfortunately. Who's your next photo up?
Me? I don't know.
You'll probably be going to the Iron Fist premiere, so you'll hang out with all the.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I missed the last Daredevil premiere. I missed the last Luke Cage. I missed the Luke Cage premiere. I missed those two. So we'll see.
You didn't go to the last day. Wow.
I was in LA.
Wow.
I was in New York. So I did not go.
That was a fun one.
Great. Terrific.
That's just. I'm trying to force you to show up.
Well, I'd love
For the
to. I'd
next
love
one.
to. But, I was holding down the fort back in LA. But maybe next time. Hopefully next time. Hopefully I'll go to Defenders. Hopefully Fire and I don't know if they're all going to be in New York now or what's happening. But
That's a good question.
yeah, I don't know. Only the first Daredevil one was in LA.
Mm-hmm.
Now they all seem to be in New York. Jessica Jones was in New York, and all the other ones have been New York. So I'm assuming that's a pattern and that they'll all continue to be in New York. Is my guess. So we'll see. It's going to be harder for me to get to them.
Right.
But we'll see.
Hope to see you there.
Hope to see you there. All right. Well, thanks, Blake.
Please, it was an honor to even be asked. I appreciate you letting me ramble.
I appreciate you rambling.
EJ, you're the best.
Ramble on. There you go, folks. Thanks, Blake, so much for coming on and talking. I appreciate it. It's really good shooting the shit with you. So there you go. Go follow Blake around on the social media if you can, and check out the This Week in Marvel podcast. And one more time for my plugs: ejscott.com, at EJ Scott on Twitter, and at EJ Podcast on Twitter as well. And Running Blind documentary on iTunes, Google Play, and Amazon. Crowdrise.com/7on7 for charity stuff. Instagram, EJScott1106. And go check out my other podcasts. Subscribe on iTunes. I got a lot of good ones coming up. And that will do it for today. See you next time. Thanks.